You must always help those above you feel important. When trying to impress or please them, avoid showing off your talents too much. At the start of his career, Nicolas Fouquet became the finance minister for King Louis XIV. He was a kind man known for loving grand shows, pretty women, and poetry. He lived a rich life and cared a lot about money. Because he was smart and seen as very important, the king, many thought he would take over from Prime Minister Jules Mazarin when Mazarin died in 1661. But the king decided to remove that job instead. Worried by these and other signs that he had lost the king's favor, Fouquet chose to throw a party like no other. The event was said to celebrate the finishing of his palace. In truth, it was meant to thank the king and win back his approval. Some of the most noble and well-known people in Europe at that time, such as La Fontaine, La Rochefoucauld, and Madame de Sévigné, came to the party. Molière even wrote a play to show that evening. The night started with a rich feast that had 7 types of dishes. It featured new recipes made just for that night and unusual food from the East that many in France had never tried before. An orchestra put together by Fouquet to honor the king played music during the meal. After dinner, guests walked around the beautiful gardens of the home. The design of the palace gardens fountains would later inspire the famous gardens at Versailles. While walking among the neat hedges and flower beds, Fouquet personally walked with the young king. When they reached the water channels, they watched fireworks after Molière's play. The party was a great success and everyone agreed it was the best event they had ever seen. But the next day, things changed. Suddenly Fouquet was arrested by King's main musketeer. 3 months later, he was put on trial for stealing money from the state treasury. Even though much of what he was said to taken was actually for the king and with his permission, was found guilty, Fouquet was sent to one of the most remote prisons in the French Pyrenees, where he spent the last 20 years of his life in jail. Louis, called the Sunken, was a proud and arrogant man who always wanted to be at the center of the attention. He could not stand being outdone by anyone, especially not by his finance minister. Instead of keeping Fouquet in his role, he chose Jean-Baptiste Colbert, known for his flashy style and for holding very boring parties in Paris, to replace him. Colbert made sure that every coin from the treasury went directly to Louis. With that money, Louis built the famous Palace of Versailles, a palace even more grand than Fouquet's. Using the same builders, decorators, and garden designers, at Versailles, he held parties even more extra fancy than the ones that had cost Fouquet's freedom. In the end, on the night of the party, Fouquet thought that by putting on one amazing show after another, he was proving his loyalty and commitment to the king. He believed the event would not only help him win back the king's favor, but also show his good taste, strong ties, and popularity, proving that he was very important to the king and a great choice for head of government. However, each new show only made his friends and countrymen more impressed by his wealth and power than by his official role or his connection to the king. Instead of pleasing Louis, Fouquet's carefully planned party ended up hurting the king's pride. Clearly Louis could not say this openly. He found a good excuse to remove the man who had, perhaps without meaning to, made him feel insecure. This is a situation that anyone in power might face when someone makes them doubt themselves, hurts their pride, or makes them question their own importance.